Asian American. Hello to Wales in UK, Kia ora, Catherine and Vav, South Africa, Brazil, Bahia, Indiana, welcome Shelley, Efrat, Costa Rica, welcome, Philippines, now Washington, Shalom Yael from Israel, living now in Alaska, Northern California, Anne, welcome. Norway, hello, Tor. New York City, Copenhagen, Denmark. I miss someone in Salish Sea Tribes, Washington State, St. Croix, Virgin Island, Copenhagen in Denmark, Miami, Florida, Dominican, Costa Rica, Muskoka, Ontario, Canada. Ingrid, hello from Ontario, Great Lakes regions in Canada. It's always so beautiful to see how we spread like a fountain around the globe. Give another moment for anyone else that wants to say where they are at. I haven't typed. I'm from Israel, originally born in Romania, grew up in Israel, and I'm sitting now in Northern California in the Redwoods. So welcome one and all. It's good to see you and see your faces. Manila, Oakland, California, Isle of Wight, UK, welcome. California East Bay, welcome. World citizen.
Bon voyage.
From Germany, living in Los Angeles. Welcome one and all. It's lovely to see you. It's lovely to have you. It's lovely to know where you're from. And I will pass the baton to Yael for now so we can start embarking on our journey. Yael, you're muted. You can't unmute. Laura, can you help Yael unmute? There's something happening there. There is a different.
I'm trying. Yeah, there's a freeze happening.
There we go.
Laura, make me co-host, and then I can mute and unmute.
You are. You're co-host.
You are. We can hear you, Yael. It's all good now.
Oh, excellent. Great. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and thank you, Diana, for the beautiful welcoming. These are very challenging times for many of us around the world, and we are really happy that you are joining us in co-creating this. Indeed, Circles, the intention that we are asking you all to join us in setting is to co-create a safe, brave space, like a womb. And the way we do it is guided by the indigenous ways. I am in Alaska, originally from the Holy Land, from Israel. I'm married to a native man who's the indigenous messenger of the people, the Unangan people. And according to their tradition, the teachings say that when women come together in true sisterhood, connect to the womb inside and around us, then we can collectively, ceremonially put that energy beyond ourselves. So a sacred container can be formed for something truly new to begin to exist in us, between us, and possibly be birthed into the world. So this is why we are doing these circles, and the way we do it is guided by indigenous talking circle guidelines that were recognized and handed down to us by our Yupik elder here in Alaska, the late Rita Blumenstein. And what she found in her work with other indigenous elders from around the world is that these circles, as she called them, are may have different names and different forms, but they share the same guidelines that create a safe, brave space for people to be held and also help hold without touch. So the first guideline is that the host needs to set the guidelines, even if everyone knows them by heart. Just like when you come to a meal at someone's house, even if you know where all the plates are, this table is set, and so you know this is time to go into this potluck of offerings that we have, that you don't have to take in everything, but you can take what nourishes you and leave what doesn't, for it may nourish someone else. And you can make the combinations or the parts that speak to you, and we hope you'll be nourished by this. And this time we really ask you to listen carefully, because at the first hour, our Wisdom Keepers will be co-creating the core ripple of the circle. But the second hour, we go into breakout rooms, where in each breakout room, there will be one of our Wisdom Keepers holding space for a handful of our participants, you, to be sharing as the circle speaks through you. Because this is a talking circle in the sense that the circle does the talking. We are doing the listening. And we listen from the heart. If you look at the word heart, there's an ear in the middle. We ask for that ear to be open. And even when I speak, the words are coming through me, but I'm actually listening to the words, whether they come through this mouth or another self's mouth, one of you. So we ask to have this deep listening, as deep as the womb. We ask to listen with the innocence of a child hearing something for the first time. Before there's an opinion, just let the story come to you and land. Before you know if it's true or not true, that there's a thing as a unicorn or a platypus or a pyramid or a fairy or a god, just let the word land in you. And then maybe just a sentence speak to you and not the whole story. That's fine. Take it in, but don't push it away, or someone else might need to hear something else, or to, let something else live in them. And so when we diss something, we might ruin it for someone else. So we ask, do not judge, to be free of judgment, of agendas, of titles, of arguing or planning the responses. Just let a story be presented by next to the next story, truth by truth, like dishes at a potluck. We ask to respect the different truths, respect yourself, respect other selves, here in the circle and beyond. Respect time and attention that are limited, as we know. We ask to speak from the heart when you share. You don't have to share if you don't feel that the time is right for you. But if you do feel that something is bubbling in you and wants to come out, please don't hold it down. We ask that each person speaks at one time, so no cross-talking, okay? We can't interfere with anyone's sacred path or anyone's words. We ask to wait for things and respect them when they are ripe, when the time is ripe, when the words are ripe, if there's a song coming to you, when it's your time to share. And again, respect the time and the attention that is limited. So our Wisdom Keepers, we have 4 to 5 minutes for each to share. And in the circle, depending on how many people you are, the facilitators will help you also manage the time. The truth, we only speak of what we know to be true in these circles, through our own lived experiences, not something that we heard and sounded nice, not something that we borrowed as an idea, but something that we actually lived through and was true to us at that moment, or is true in our lives at the moment. And we ask to respect the fact that other people's truth may be, even in the same situation, very different. Like the deer and the lion have very different experiences of the same chase, yet each one has the truth that is just as valid as the others. And maybe sometimes or often I find myself the lion, and suddenly the deer is speaking, and I can hear the inner child, the inner deer in myself that I so often don't even see and through my other self speaking about it, I can reflect and see something in myself that I haven't seen before, which leads us to an expansion. If we expand like the womb does, and even if it's not comfortable and we're not used to it, the womb teaches us that if we do that, if we allow a drop from an other self, then we can expand, embrace the discomfort, and expand and let something new begin to exist. And the final thing, this part is recorded, but other than the core ripple, we're not going to record anything, and the breakout rooms are confidential. So we ask for what happens in the room, will stay there. If you want to share beyond, even if it's the same person that talked about it, ask permission before sharing. And please respect the fact that some things happen at a certain time and place and are not to be repeated in other places. So when you ask, the answer might be no, you can't share. So we ask that if you want to share with someone or about someone that shared something in this circle, you either ask for permission, or if you don't have a way to contact them, just don't. And one of the ways we do that, for instance, if I want to tell a story here that I haven't gotten permission, even if that person is here, I just will not mention their name. And so if Eva and I went through an experience, instead of saying Eva and I were walking on the street, I can say a friend and I were walking on the street. So that is what we ask. And if anyone has any additions or something they want to change, this is the time to say it or suggest it, because we have to reach a consensus before we go in. So I will be quiet for a few seconds, and please put in the chat box if you have something you want to offer for the guidelines. Okay, thank you. And so with that, we can open the sacred space. And Celine, can you give the opening blessing, please?
Thank you. It's me. Thank you. Ancho, ñañaykuna, turaykuna, mundokuna, ñoka k'ay Selene suti. K'ay llaqta México k'ani, pero llaqtamanta k'ay Cuscomanta k'ani. K'ay guerra ñantin, k'ay países bombachaj t'aqllasco. This very important, energetic, and transformational moment into our time to empower all the women, all the indigenous, all the vulnerable, all the people who is suffering right now from bombing, from war, from injustice, the migrants crossing borders, the mothers crying for their children, parents taking care of the health of their children, and children taking care of the health of the parents. I will pray for all the rivers, the oceans, the lands that are being attacked. Our force together can transform the energy of these difficult times we are passing through, because we are indigenous. We have been taking care of this Pachamama for ages, and we will continue doing for more ages. I just want to transmit to our youngest generations that we are doing this for you. I will start with the chanting to open our hearts and the heart of the politicians, the governors, the people who are pressing the button for the bomb, for attacking another humans. I am opening the heart of these persons with this praying. Kanun, kanun, kanun ra, Armandito eka milito ya, Abrilcito, juntos, juntitos, ya, 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 paren la guerra y ámense todos, ya, ya, ya. Este es un canto, canto sagrado ya. Canto sagrado, canto del río, ya, ya, ya. Vamos en paz, vamos amando ya. Y sana cura, señorita, ya, ya, ya. Señorita, y sana cura, ya, ya, ya. Y cura el agua, y cura el río, ya, 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 ya. Canto sagrado, canto de tierra, ya. Today, our Father, the Son, is rising, more powerful than ever. And when the sun rises, rise for everyone equally. For the people who is seeking for peace, for the fighters of the peace, for the spirits. We are spirits. This is a joining of spirits. Our Father's Son is raising one more year. Is the Inti Raimi. Is the big encountering of the Pachamama and the Father's Son. Chaska Kulyurwan, Inti Kulyurwan, Killa Kulyurwan. I am praying to my Father, the Son, to illuminate everyone equally around the world. We have been making monuments to the Father, Son. We have been cleaning the bodies of water for our Father, the Son. Our Father, the Son, is blessing all of us today, raising again, equally for everyone, no distinctions. Father, Son, give us the wisdom to stop these wars, to protect the vulnerable, to bring food for everyone who needs water and food. Please, Father, Son, look into my heart. See into these hearts reunited here, praying, honoring you. This is for you, Father, Son. Señorita, señorita, señorita ayahuasca, ayahuasca curandera, ayahuasca curandera. Guachumita, guachumita, guachumita curandera, sana, sana, guachumita, cura, cura, curandera. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tupananchiskama. Beautiful.
Tupananchiskama.
And Diana, can you take us into the womb meditation to connect to the womb inside us and around us please.
Thank you, Yael. Thank you, Selim. Thank you, sun and light that shines on all together. Let's kindle the light. Do you have a candle, a virtual one or a physical one? Kindle the light in your heart. The light that is inside each of us. Inviting us to close our eyes and place both hands on our heart and breathe. Come to this moment from wherever you came into this room where you sit. Call your name inwardly. Call yourself into this moment. Call all your parts to come and be present. Greet your heart and greet the womb, either the womb in your body or the womb you came from. We all came from a womb. Some of us have a womb in our body. Those who have had a womb and it has been surgically removed still have an etheric, energetic womb. In honor of the womb in all of us or the womb from which we came, move down one of your palms to the womb area, keeping a palm on your heart. And let's breathe together. We're looking today at the solstice, at going to the edge. The womb is the place where life is at its farthest edge. When you were in your mother's womb, you were the edge of life, the edge of creation, the ultimate frontier of humanity. Take a moment to have that sensation of yourself being the edge of humanity, the edge of life, the newest addition, the newest link in the chain of generations. And now you are alive, and more life is coming to be standing at the edge. It might be a life inside of your own body. It might be an idea, a project, an inspiration, a vision inside of your etheric or physical womb. What is bringing you to the edge? What are you birthing? What are you gestating? What are you growing inside of you that is moving thought, heart, womb to the next edge, to the frontier, for what you, each of us, has to bring is the edge that your gift is representing. Feel it in this moment. The edge, the gift that you are gestating in you right now. And let the sun of the solstice shine above you to warm and nurture that which is still in the womb, still growing, still hidden, yet to be born. A hidden edge that only known by you. And bless yourself for being the carrier of this edge in your physical or energetic womb. May the pregnancy be blessed. May the birthing be blessed. May what you carry illuminate the world, each in its own way. And let's breathe in together again and out. Coming back with our eyes closed to our physical body on the chair. Reconstructing in our mind's eyes the surrounding of the room where we sit, each of us. Envisioning with our eyes closed the circle around the world of which we are part. Allow your palms to either stay where they are if you wish, or let them move to where they want to be. Sense your feet, let your toes wiggle, let your fingers wiggle, let the body and its presence bring more attention to itself as you become more and more aware of this moment and being in it. And when you're fully here in your body, in your consciousness, in this moment, let your eyes gently open. And welcome back. Thank you.
I think Muna might be with us. I see, which is usually how our wisdom keepers come in. So Muna, if you're there, can you unmute and show yourself? Because Muna is right now in the Holy Land, and as you know, there's a lot of bombing and sirens, and so we don't know if she can be with us the whole time. So we will let her be the first speaker if we have her. If not, then we'll have her when she.
Actually, we can wait, Yaeli, for the next one. Let me just one moment sink in. I just came from a long meditation and everything. So.
Okay. I'm going to ask Elder Ia to be the first speaker. Yes, and then Vav, I know you're also doing a ceremony from 4 a.m. So Ia, and then Vav, and then hopefully Muna. Thank you. Ia, please.
Great afternoon, Eatihira, St. Croix, Virgin Island, in the land of the Taina and the Arawak peoples. I come to you from this great island, feeling somewhat grieved, but yet a celebratory, because this is a year of rebirth, a year that we can step into a sense of power and recalibrate where we are on this earth. And what do we want to hold and bring forth? And sometimes that doesn't need a lot of words. It needs a lot of stillness. And are we willing to return and be in the inner world, in our inner space, and raise these questions of what's happening? How are we the conduits? How are we the wisdom holders, the keepers of the wisdom, of our ancestors' wisdom, our indigenous wisdom? How are we holding that and activating that within every cell and part of our own being? So I want to invite us to practice how we can do that. Like Can we just practice lifting all of those pieces up from that dark space? Like, let's take a deep breath and bring them all up and be able to hold them and see them in our mind's eye. Where they resonating, what am I holding up? Am I holding the separation in my own vibratory energy? And where is it? Am I still holding the space of us and them, that separation that keeps us at war with each other? How are we holding this today? This is the time to go into the deep waters. In my indigenous culture, they call this the Olokun movement, the deep waters, the underwaters of the belly and the womb of Yemaya, the primordial mother who gave birth to us all. Can we move back into that primordial energy right now and take it back down into that womb space and face that darkness and bring that darkness all the way back up into the ether, all the way up, and bring down the light that we want to see on the earth? Let's try for like 4 times. Let's do 4 breaths in, pulling that dark energy all the way up from the earth and being able to focus and see it, how it's coming up from all the 4 corners. Breathing it up, holding it up. Bringing down the light and breathing that light back into Mother Earth. And observing the compost, Mother Earth ability to compost and create this beautiful call for peace, for reconciliation, and transformation on the planet. Let's put it up again. Let's put it all the way up. Take that breath all the way up. Hold it all the way up. Bring down the light. See, you're bringing light over those forces back into the earth. And know that Mother Earth has the capacity to compass it all into beauty, into peace. Bring it up one more time. And feel it hard, that feeling in your womb space, that watery like feeling, and allowing it to melt into the earth. And our final breath, let's take it all the way up. Just feel that, bringing it up. And as you bring it up this time, feel that lightness that comes over your own body. And see that you're doing this for all of creation, all around the world. Imagine that there are those circles of people in every part of this world doing exactly what you're doing. So let's join them together and bring this all the way into Mother Earth. And let's raise our hands in a prayer of infinite gratitude, love, compassion, forgiveness, and justice, and transformation on planet Earth. And so it be. Ashe, Aho, Ubuntu, we are all one heartbeat. So it be.
Thank you, Elder Iha Ashe. As you are talking about the breath, and as Diana was leading us to the edge, I was just feeling how when we stand on the edge, we feel the air so much, and not only through our breath, but we are surrounded by air and the fragility that we have when we are on the edge. And I think we all feel that during these times when things are going to an edge, So thank you, elders, for allowing us to experience that and to rest in the beauty of it. And with that, Vav, I'm wondering what is coming through you to be shared.
Thank you. Thank you, Ia, and all who have spoken and shared this special day. So happy solstice to everyone. And this time, the sun is at its highest peak and bringing most light to the earth. And the sun is also giving quite a few of sun flares. So we are getting so much light at this point in time. So hold it in our hearts and let our hearts resonate that light out for healing and peace for everyone. And everyone has been to the edge. We have all been to the edge at some point in our lives, whether it's a financial edge, an emotional edge, a health edge. The edge is an interesting place because it is a place of change. It's that liminal place where it can feel really uncomfortable when we get there. And this is a time, as Mother Earth is going through her birthing process of this new time, it's a time where it can be really uncomfortable for a lot of us. But the edge also is a place where as we move through it, we move into change, and change is good. It may not always feel it as it's happening, but ultimately we can look back and see that that change is good. So this liminal place is a place where we can examine how we truly feel. And when I was a teenager, when I was 17, my dad had just died, and I was in a very uncomfortable family place. And I had just split up with my first proper boyfriend, and I was at a low edge. And as a teenager, I did a lot of climbing, and a couple of friends who were in the same climbing club invited me to go to a sea stack in Scotland, which is a big rock coming out of the sea, and to take my mind off it and climb. And the two lads that I was with were both over 6 foot, and we climbed this sea stack. They went up first, and I was all roped up, and we got up to the top, and the last bit was an overhang to get over the edge to the very summit. And these two lads with huge spans of arms and big long legs managed to do this big stretch and big pull and pulled themselves to the surface. And I was really struggling to make that reach. And I remember clearly, I still remember to this day, my fingernails holding tight. And I was literally on an edge. And as I started to peel off from this place, safely roped, but, sort of 200 feet up from the sea and rocks below me, were quite a scary place to be. All the thoughts that I had been mulling over, all the hurt, all the sadness that I'd been holding in my heart, my focus went somewhere else, at which point one of my friends just leant over the edge and looked at me and said, "Now tell me how much you're worrying about." And that change of mood, that change of moving through from the edge of despair, the edge of sadness, and just moving through to a place of adrenaline rush, it really gives you that change. And the pandemic that we've been through, this world pandemic, did that a lot for a lot of people. For me, it was a time of bliss where the traffic stopped and it was quiet. And I loved the fact that Mother Nature could take a huge in-breath and just begin to breathe. And I felt that it was a lesson for us all to examine how we respected the earth and how the earth was trying to speak to us. But what it did do was, for some people, it was a dark night of the soul that brought us through this place of fear and chaos and uncertainty. For others, for me, it was seeing the light and the communication with the planet. And what it did for a lot of us, as we are sitting here, it brought us together on Zoom, where we weren't meeting in person, but we were meeting at a distance. And the ability to have the elders from all over the world sit together and hold space and share such wisdom and such energy is a blessing that we should all be relishing, because before the pandemic, we didn't have that. We didn't get together. We would sit around fires. And yes, sitting around a fire, we've been talking about that this week, you know, sitting around a fire and doing ceremonies together in person gives an energy and a learning that perhaps we don't get on Zoom. We don't understand the respect and the culture that we might have when we're sitting with elders next to us. Because if you sit with a group of elders and you say something wrong, you get a look. You just get a look that tells you that you're stepping out of line. And that is an energy that you feel that we don't have the ability to share on a Zoom call. But the Zoom call has opened doors for us that we might never have had before. And in this Celtic tradition, in my tradition, the edge is in the forest, where we walk into the forest. And that liminal place is where you go from the reality, the everyday reality, to the magical place of nature. And you step from the edge of the forest into the forest, and you are held by the sound of the birds, the sound of the trees, and the energy of the trees. So that place of magic is where change happens. And so I think the edge is a place where, yes, we need to respect it, but the edge is a place where we can move into another reality. And it gives us the ability to choose how we want to live. And it gives us an ability to choose how we envisage our future. So to me, this time of solstice, where all the murmurings of the world and the chaos of people are shown to us on the news, the wars and the disruption and the fear are just places where everybody is showing their edge. They're showing their fear and their disgruntlement and putting it into aggression and into war. But actually, if we step into our edge and we hold the light and we hold the peace and the love that nature has given us, and we hold the light that's coming from this beautiful sun at the moment, and we allow our light within our hearts to glow and to resonate out to all we come in contact with, we can help others find their edge in peace and love and harmony. And so we ask that all those who make decisions for this world feel that light and feel that love in their hearts, and that they make their decisions and their choices for the greatest good of all the relatives on the earth, for all the animals, the trees, and all the people. And may everyone have what they need. Blessed be.
Thank you. Thank you for the reminders of the nature around us and inside of us. Inside so, outside. May it be so. And Muna, if you can give us what's coming through you, with the edginess that you are experiencing and everything that you want to share that is coming for you to share.
Hi, hello everyone. So thank you for giving me this like a brief moment to reconnect and come in. So as you said, yeah, I'm actually living in the midst of a, really extreme situation right now. Not only have we been exposed to the genocide happening for so many months now, almost 2 years, but now there's another war coming in, and actually I find myself moving out of my mother's house into a safer place with my children, so we're also a little bit displaced. So edge is definitely a definition that can be used to where I am. And in a way, still, it's a, like solstice is a unique day. So I went out to nature and I feel really nourished today just because I really had a very, very deep calling to go out and sit on earth and be with the trees and with nature. That's always, the first healer. Amazing, amazing nourishment coming from earth, that like kind of oblivious of the madness of people in a way. And this brings me in a way to where I do want to share of what I'm receiving today. And during my own personal ceremony, there was a very clear calling for self-care at this moment. Really, really deep calling of just taking care of the self and I do want to say that it's really interesting for me to be looking at this because normally, first and before all, it's the general. I don't tend to like, even when I pray for myself, then it's the prayer is, please help me be the best tunnel, like the best way to bring about the medicine that I need to bring to this earth. But it was like, no, like stop, take care of yourself for a minute now. And despite the judgment of selfishness of it in a way, I can also see how that can be of service at this moment. Because there is so much energy of drama moving in the world within our hearts. So much fear and anger, and so much like kind of almost prayers clashing, like the good ones and the bad ones, and those who want the war and those who don't want, and everything like so dramatic that it almost feels to me like the real action right now, the real activism right now is to stop. Just come to a halt and stop and take a breath and like put this in the world, silence and serenity and quietness. Bring this as a message to the world. Or just for a moment, just be here now, like accept what is and just be without moving here or there. It feels to me like right now, when I manage to do that, then my heart is healed. And, like it, in a way, like the judgmental mind comes about, like what, so many people are dying and how can you say that? Actually, I don't forget for a minute my beloveds in Gaza and the people here and the people in like all the places that are being bombed in Iran or whatever, like everywhere. That's not away from my consciousness. I am aware of that. And still like really like working towards finding my stillness within it, to be able to bring this serenity as a gift to the world right now. So this is where I'm at. And when I was in the forest, I found feathers of a bee eater. I'll show you. Really sweet little, you can't see them, sweet little feathers. These green, these are like really tiny birds that come here in the summer and they eat. Sorry?
Muna, the wall behind you is white, so we will be able to see it better. Can you put it kind of like
here? Can you see it now? It's here. I can't show you my message room right now. So it's basically the bee eaters they come, they eat bees and they eat wasps and they come here in the summer. And what they do is that they, first of all, they catch the bees and the wasps in their flight, but then they somehow rub them to take out the venom so that they can take in only the medicine. And that's in a way their message, you know, that's in a way like manage to get rid of the venom and take in what's useful for you with so much sweetness, because they're such a sweet bird. They're small and they work together, they're social, and they have like this very sweet being, even though they eat all the bees, and I love bees, but still, you know, everyone eats something. So basically, I think this for me was a real deep message. How can you neutralize the venom and remain in your silence and serenity and bring that about? So with this, I pass it on. Thank you.
Thank you, Muna. May we turn venom into medicine. Thank you for that reminder. And Catherine, I'm wondering, you also I don't know if that's what you want to share, but just when I heard Muna about activism and stillness, it reminded me a bit of what you've been talking about. So I'm wondering what's coming through you.
Kia ora. Happy New Year, everybody. Here in Aotearoa, this is the time of our renewing of the year here in the South Pacific. The thing I was reminded of, though, in listening to all our speakers is a memory that I had from a plant medicine ceremony exploration, I guess you'd say, some time ago. And it really took me to the edge. In brief, I had a moment of terror. And I was facing a door and I couldn't pass through the door. I was banging and banging on it, and I heard this thunderous, deep, it was just a noise that was just held terror for me in the noise, which was approaching me. And I was at the door, pounding on the door, screaming to be let in. The door wouldn't open. And this thing, I didn't even know what it was coming closer to me and closer to me and closer to me. And I felt like it was going to be upon me at any moment. And then all at once, the door opened. And I found myself in it was like a airport waiting room, I guess you could say. It wasn't anything special. It was just a room. And a person was there, and they said to me, "Oh, you finally decided to come through the door." And I was like, I was holding myself outside of the door. And then the person points in a direction, and I look in the direction, and there are doors after doors after doors, infinite number of doors. And I was like, oh, okay. It was so interesting because, I went from a moment of sheer terror, and I didn't even know what it was about. I thought to myself, was I just creating all that in my own mind? And I guess I was. And as I looked forward at all the other doors before me, I was like, okay, this is my creation, I guess. And I was just so pleased to realize, however, that on the other side of every door, there would be a moment of relief, a waiting room where I could just feel like, oh, okay, been through that. What's the next thing? Yeah, we shouldn't chronically be always at the edge. We don't want to be, and neither should we be. But I am reminded, our bodies go through the edge and back again all the time. Just think about our heart. Boom, 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 boom. The edge and back, the edge and back. How many hundreds of thousands of times? Our breath, the edge and back, the edge and back. So it's a natural, it's comforting to me to feel that it's a natural process of going to the edge, even though we resist it. Got to do it. It's there. So, yeah, that's the thought that came to me. And I'm just going to quickly see. what is this card that comes up? Oh, lovely. Service to others. I think, as a collective, we're together in this going to the edge all the time. It feels alone a lot of the time, but we're actually together. It is kind of like, these moments of being together and supporting one another. It is such service to others. And the more we can inoculate ourselves against this resistance, I don't want to be at the edge, the more courage we can build in ourselves. I think that energetic ripple of courage moves out to other people too. So the more we heal ourselves and going to the edge and finding that courage, I think it just, every time we do that, it's helpful to the collective. So kia ora, thank you for all the words, and again, Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you, Catherine. And Eva, I know you're running out of battery, but I'm wondering if you can maybe, even without video,
I'm actually good. I just found the plug to plug it, so we're good. My battery is safe now. First of all, thank you for all those who came before me and spoke such words of wisdom that really is a balm to my heart, my bleeding heart. And what is coming through is really this bleeding heart that I feel each one of us has right now. Doesn't matter where we're speaking from, where we are physically. We're just living. The image that came to me was we're living in such a time where every step, every action is so important, but the action is not what we think action is. And where when we walk, the way we walk is more important than how far we walk. And I invite you really to connect to your heart walk. I feel like it's time for us to walk with our heart wide open, even though it's breaking every single minute. Because when we walk in the heart, from that heart, that breaking heart, the land, the beaming heart of the land remember us, and we remember who we truly are. And the land can hold us. And it's like a carpet of red grace of the red priestess holding us with every step we take, because with every step we take, despite the time that we're living through, every step is a step of radical revolution, radical act. And I have family in Jaffa. I have family in Gaza. I'm currently in Costa Rica with my chosen family, my husband and 2 kids. And every morning I wake up terrified to open my phone. I feel like sometimes it's easier to be on the land because then I know what's happening than being outside. And when I open my heart despite the bleeding, when I keep breathing at the edge, because that's what I feel. We've been living at the edge for the past, I don't know how long. This is like a place where we tremble, where the fear actually meet possibilities. And as crazy as it might sound, it's really the more I activate that piece inside of me, which is the shield, the real shield, where I can activate the inner sanctuary of my heart, holding the light surrounding my family in Gaza, in Jaffa, in Haifa, my friends around in the West Bank and in Israel and in Iran. And I feel like that's what we're being asked for right now, is like, how can we still, we, the wisdom keeper, we, the one that are able from outside to hold this light, to hold this center from within, from where all this manifestation for peace can be born. And that's where I feel peace begins here, so that it can ripple outward. And I know it sounds like we're in a competition of victimhood or competition of who's stronger or whose missile reach further. And I find that challenging this invitation for hate with a radical choice of love, a radical choice of being together, a radical choice of standing together. It's the only, for me, radical act that I can take now. And being here with you, Yael and Diana and Celine and all of our friends, WisdomKeeper, and all of you who are listening to us, it's really an invitation to let go of the mask of fear and separation and connect to the unity. And the unity can only be met when we are meted inside of us, when I'm unified, when I've unified my own field of love, beyond the division, beyond this invitation of manipulation. And I feel like a friend yesterday was telling me what this invite us is actually, it invites us to drop our identities of Palestinian, Muslim, Iranian, Israeli, like all of these different identities that put us into a box and forget the overall humanity, the humanity that shield us, the humanity that connects us, the humanity that can transport us beyond this time. And it's only when we can drop this custom of what identity, what nation is calling me to fight you because I belong to this tribe and not that tribe. I think that's the only way that humanity can embrace us, can allow, or can be allowed, more than allowed, that can be allowed to embrace. Because when grace meets us, it doesn't ask us anything. Spirit meets us at the point of action. Spirit doesn't ask us sacrifice. It just asks us to meet, to show up, and to show up as we truly are and connect to the loving essence that we are. And it's sometimes feel that these words or this invitation are too far out there, that doesn't connect to this physical reality of violence that we're living, to the system of oppression that oppress us. But at the same time, that's where change happens. In every crisis, there's danger and opportunity. That's one word, actually, in Chinese, Wei Ji. Wei Ji is crisis, and Wei is danger, and Ji is opportunity. And so this is our opportunity actually to connect with the millions of hearts around us, beyond our identities, that can really help us together to rise up to the humanity that connects us. And that's the only action that we need to do. We don't need to go anywhere. We don't need to go anywhere. We just need to be where we are. And in that moment of invitation for hatred, we choose love. In that moment of invitation for division, we choose unity. And in this unity consciousness, we can all rise up together and create this beautiful earth that we're imagining, this beautiful earth that we're seeing, this beautiful utopia that has been pushed aside for so many millions of years. But it's time for us, not just us as women, but us as women and men and children, all of us together, to make that inner choice, that when I'm invited for that trigger, when I'm invited to hate, when I'm invited to separate, I actually choose to connect. I choose to keep my heart open. I choose to love. And that's what I leave you with. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Eva. Your words remind me of a petition that I was sent a few days ago from Palestinians, Israelis, and Iranians, all calling just to live in peace and have a ceasefire, but beyond ceasefire, have peace. So again, this is not like something that we are telling you should do. But please, some of my friends considered it and didn't sign. Some of my friends considered it and did sign. It's very much up to each and every one of our hearts. But I'm putting it out there in case it speaks to you as a part of our potluck and offering. And Laura, I believe the breakout rooms are ready and we can send people into the breakout rooms. Is that right?
Yael, how much time should are folks going to have in there?
So I think we can have 50 minutes there, 50.
Okay.
And
50.
yeah,
Okay.
please make sure that everyone has the chance to be heard. And again, you don't have to speak. Please listen from the heart, share from the heart, release judgment, and keep the confidentiality. And after the breakout rooms, we will come back for silent sharings in the chat box and an open and closing prayer. Thank you so much for being with us, and hope that to have good sessions in the breakout rooms. See you after.
Here we go. Yael, did you mean to come out? Yael, are you there? Yael, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Yael, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but there's no sound. If you can hear me, I had put you in a room so that there's a room right now with no one holding it.